Earth.One Voice, which I've been insisting on calling One Voice, One Earth. One Earth, One Voice, her beautiful pilgrimage. So I'd like you all to welcome Shyla.
Good afternoon. It is truly an honor and a joy to be with all of you today. I want to thank Stephanie for the gracious invitation, and I'd like to thank my other dear sister, Elizabeth Lekone, for all that she has done to graciously hold the space as I have made my sojourn thus far around our good earth from the United States. It has been a journey of beauty and terror. It has been a journey of deep soulfulness. It has been a journey of touching the very nerve endings of our planet, and a journey of being embraced by the exquisite magnificence of all that life on earth holds for all of us. I've seen horrors that I may never speak about, and I've seen the very finest and most beautiful of humanity's grace. And I bring all of that with me to stand before you in this moment. I'd like to dedicate my few moments talking with you to my two daughters, Emily and Sophia, who carry me in their heart every day, and I them every day, and I have dedicated this journey to them, and to the potential grandchildren that may spring forth someday, should they choose, and the generations and generations and generations to follow. This is as much for them, possibly even more so, than it is for ourselves. I have an axiom that I have lived by my entire adult life, and that is, what's personal is planetary, and what's planetary is personal. In fullest congruence with the beautiful message that Stephanie had to share with us today, I believe with every fiber of my being that the interdependence and interconnectivity that we share with the source of all life is immutable. It is a law that we either live by or we breach at our own peril. As my beloved advisor, Chief Oren Lyons, faith keeper of the Onondaga in North America, says, there is no habeas corpus in nature. And she responds in kind, out of fierce love and fierce terror at times, to that. My own journey is a personal and planetary journey. I began my career as a singer at 17 years of age. At 19, I suffered a traumatic injury. I was attacked in a violent crime in which I was choked, and the damage to my trachea and to my psyche resulted in the full loss of my voice, the beginning of a very promising career. I thought that I would never sing again. In fact, I had difficulty phonating at all after that experience. It cascaded me into a journey that ultimately resulted in a near-death experience in 1988 when I was 20. Following that experience, on some intuitive level, I knew that the only hope I had to reclaim the voice that I had been given was to return to the very place where I had found it in the first place, which as a young child was in the woods and the forests of the beautiful state of Vermont in North America, in the United States, where I live. And I began thus a long journey, walking into the woods, taking my shoes off, touching the ground, touching the trees, and trying to bring forth my voice again. I honked like a goose when it began, and I would squeak and squawk and cry out to God. And I would do it again, and again, and again, many months into the woods, until one day, I opened my mouth to bring forth tone, and the tone sustained me. And then it grew longer and longer. And then, soon enough, I was able to inflect pitch again. I knew nothing about earth science. I knew nothing about the electromagnetics of the human body. I knew nothing about what we know so well now, about the profound healing power of nature. I just knew my source, and I knew the source of my own voice. And so for me, this personal planetary journey, I believe in a certain way is all of our journey. It is both a metaphor and also a living reality, a living sacrament. My agreement is that I believe deeply, with every cell of my being, that the earth herself gave me back my voice, so that I could become an advocating voice on her behalf at a time of critical need. And this journey is the expression, the fullest expression of that daily commitment and that daily covenant that I have chosen to live every day. Today is day 67 of a 99-day journey. I'm nearly over 2/3 of the way done, although I just discovered that I get to repeat day 68 because I'll cross the day line. And believe me, I'll take every second of that extra day as we continue this extraordinary journey. I want to share with you a couple of snapshots of heart, if you will, that have characterized this journey for me. I had the privilege of spending time in the streets of Lagos, Nigeria, which is an exceedingly dangerous and volatile part of our world at this time, driven entirely by the pressures of geopolitical strife, driven by a fiercely rapacious oil industry and its effect on the people of Nigeria. Walking the streets of Lagos, glass globe in my arms, the only white woman for miles, with fortunately an entourage of locals who understand the nuances of the communities there. I encountered child after child and elder after elder who looked quizzically and then embraced immediately the message contained within the fragility of this beautiful orb that came to me as a vision and an instruction for this journey. The song that you'll be learning later comes from Nigeria, and I felt very strongly in the spirit of honoring place and songline, which you all know so well here in Australia, that I had to go to the source to receive the blessing of the elders of the Yoruba to begin this journey, recognizing that I was putting my life on the line to do so. The children in the streets, upon receiving me and this globe, and their parents as well, when they learned that the song, Ise Oluwa, was the song that somehow came to us as our anthem for this movement, spontaneously would break forth in singing the song. And we have many hours of beautiful footage that will later be shared with the world of those encounters and those experiences and the stories that these children particularly have to tell. The conditions in which they're living are utterly incomprehensible to the Western mind. And the contrast for me of seeing this unabashed, unmitigated soulfulness and joy and radiance in living, as set against those conditions, to me, is a message for those of us who don't necessarily have to touch that reality at any time in our lives. They are members of our global choir. They are fellow sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses. And their voices are every bit as important as all of the beautiful voices that sit here today. And my prayer is that I be true to the spirit of advocating on their behalf to bring their voices to the rest of the world, that we might together forge a vision and a solution for how it is that we can sing as one voice in a much more harmonized way with one another and with the earth herself. My journey took me to the streets of Cairo, another hot spot on the earth at this time. Fresh from the revolution, not entirely clear as to where they're going, desperate for a visionary leader. The people of Cairo have no sanitation system that is active at this time. And encountering the pyramids set against piles, mountainous piles of rubbish, and the contrast of this exquisite ancient civilization and the detritus of a modern world gone awry was soul-searing to experience. I walked through many of the streets during the Festival of Eid, and thousands of animals are sacrificed, walking through pools of blood in the streets of Cairo, holding this glass globe, wondering whether I would be blood-stained, and I was, upon my return to where I was staying, embracing and taking it all in as witness to days and moments in life on earth, having come as I did from France, where I had been at the base of the Eiffel Tower only days earlier. I have forever in my heart the image of these two children who are, as they are called, the garbage pickers of the city. It's an entire population in Cairo, as some of you might know, whose job is to wade through day in and day out piles 15 foot high of festering trash to search for food sources that haven't gone completely rancid, to look for scrap metal that their families can sell or trade, to look for any semblance of anything that could be leveraged to provide sustenance for their family life. I walked down one street and encountered these two children with their older mother looking on at a distance. The children lit up when they saw the globe, and they came right over, and I gestured for them to come. And they looked at it, and mind you, they were standing in the trash right on the edge of this pile that they were sorting through. Massive pile, 15 to 20 feet high. And the stench was overwhelming. And their faces were luminous, and they smiled, and they saw this globe, and they knew right away, and I had learned how to say in Arabic, earth, fragile earth. And they nodded. And they wanted, of course, their photograph to be taken. And we have now this image of these two radiant children holding our globe with the backdrop of this mountain of trash, which was their day's work. These are the stories of a day in the life of our planet that are meant more than anything to remind us that we have quite a bit of work to do. But I also know deeply, cellularly, viscerally, that we also possess within us every single tool and resource we need to restore right relations between our species and this planet. I claim that as our birthright, and I claim it as our highest calling. Every nationality, every tradition, every culture. We hold those keys within our hearts, within our voices, and within our own collective wills. We're at a time of trial by fire, I think, on this earth, it's fair to say. And the climate scientists have a lot to say about the inflammation of our planet. And I would describe that fire as a crisis of 4 primary aspects of humanity. Fire, letter F, is a crisis of freedom. In a sense, what modernism gave us was an extraordinary access into freedom, freedom of mobility, freedom of time with industrialization. But it has come at a cost. As I like to say, we're heirs to Prometheus and the fires of inspiration that we were given to free us from a life of survival has brought us many blessings, but it has also come at a cost, and not everyone was the recipient of the benefits. What does it mean for us to be free if that freedom has taken us out of the delicate balance with the laws of nature? Is that true freedom? The eye of fire is a crisis of imagination. I believe deeply that it is only human imagination that needs to be activated to envision a world beyond the rapacious need for fossil fuels and beyond the need for more, and the relentless drive for more. We have only to activate our own imaginations together, every one of us, to bring our highest minds and creativity into asking the question, what does it truly mean to be human? I have brought 2 outfits, 1 shoulder bag, for a journey around the entire earth for 99 days. And in so doing, I was challenging myself to ask the question, how much do I really need. And I haven't looked back, and I haven't missed a thing. 2 shirts, 2 pairs of pants, and 1 pair of shoes. And I haven't missed a thing. R. It's a crisis of reverence, and Stephanie did such a beautiful job of speaking to this. Reverence implies vulnerability. It implies our willingness to open to wonder, which many of us experienced as children and perhaps at some point felt uncomfortable doing so. For whatever reason, maybe we were locked. Maybe we were silenced. I believe that reverence holds a key. Reverence for ourselves, for the magnificent miracle of these human bodies, and the cadences and cycles of nature. Cultivating reverence in our daily lives, whether we're doing the laundry or making dinner for our families. Even, dare I say it, as we're pumping our gas. I have a little prayer that I pray when I have to use gasoline. And I stand and I pray, and people in gas stations sort of look at me, but I'm ready to teach it to everybody. And basically it is, may this be the last, may it be close to the last time I do this. Thank you, and forgive me. The trial by fire, letter E, is a crisis of expression. Expression of love, expressions of gratitude. Again, it takes incredible courage for us to open ourselves to love one another, and to love this earth again. I have encountered security people with machine guns and military and the TSA staff in Washington, D.C., which is a pretty stressful place to be monitoring security, as you all know. And I was terrified when I began the journey, not knowing, would I be able to carry a glass globe in my arms through security checkpoints in every country I go? I wasn't sure whether I would make it. I wasn't sure whether the globe would make it. And one by one, my intention was, this is a human connection. Make the human connection. And I have now photograph after photograph of security people holding the globe, cheering me on as I'm walking through the airport. Go, Earth! Go! It's the ability to connect, the ability to express, and inviting others to do the same from that joyful, playful place of reminding us of what's at stake. The song that we're going to sing now, as I mentioned, comes from the Yoruba. Its words are Ise Oluwa Kole Baje O. That's it. Very simple. But its meaning goes very deep. The translation of the words is, that which Creator has made can never be destroyed. Whether one approaches it as a scientist claiming thermodynamics 101, or a more theistic or spiritual and transcendent perspective, I can think of no better way to honor the sovereignty and sanctity of our earth as voiced through the voices of all of us here today. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to begin by singing, and you're going to hear more of my tribal voice than my operatic voice today. I'm going to sing it through. I'm going to be inviting my dear Liz to join me. And we're going to invite you to listen as we sing it through. Some of you know it in other versions, and this is one of the beauty of the evolution of song lines. The version that you're going to hear today literally comes from the streets of Nigeria, literally comes from the people and the children particularly, who have sung this from the beginning of their lives. And I'm going to invite you to listen and then join in. And as the Spirit moves you, if you hear and feel within your own bodies any harmonies that you would like to bring forth, I want you to feel completely free to do so. Much of this message is about reminding us as a species of our own ability to create beauty. So trust your own inner musicality. You are all infinitely more musical than you realize. And every human being is a member of this choir. So congratulations, you're all in. going to take a moment now and sing for you, Ise Oluwa. Ise Oluwa, kole bajeo. Ise Oluwa, kole bajeo. Ise Oluwa, kole bajeo. Ise Oluwa,
Well, thank you so much. That was exceptionally beautiful and moving and wonderful to hear your story, Shyla. And what Shyla didn't mention is that